Hi, I'm Dewis, and in this new video I want to show you my brand new way, my new favourite way of colorising my pictures and giving them mood and atmosphere. Now in earlier videos you'll have seen that I really favoured using colour lookup table adjustment layers in Photoshop. However, you'll notice there's one big problem using those. Okay, so what is the problem using lookup table adjustment layers in Photoshop when we're colorizing our pictures? Well, let me just show you that. Now in the top right hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little click where you can actually go and watch an earlier video where I showed you how you can create, save and apply your own color lookup table adjustment layers with just one click. But I want to show you the problem with those. Now as a very quick recap, let's have a look how we actually create them. On the screen at the moment, you can see a picture that's actually had the color and mood and atmosphere added to it using the several adjustment layers at the top of the layer stack. And if I turn those off, you can see the effect that those are actually having there. Now, if I want to save this particular look and create a one-click effect, what I need to do is leave all those adjustment layers visible, but turn off every other layer in the layer stack except for the background layer. Then what I do is I go to the File menu, choose Export, and we go to Color Lookup Tables. Now I'll just call this one PSW because I actually created this picture here, took this picture at Photoshop World in Orlando. So I'll click OK, and then we'll give it a name. I'll just save it directly onto my desktop, and we'll just call it PSW LUT for Lookup Table, and click Save. So when I do that, Photoshop then saves those adjustment layers there so I can apply them as a one-click effect anytime later in the future. And let me just show you how we do that. With all these layers, this top layer active, let's just delete them now, and we'll just turn on every other layer that's gone into the actual retouching this picture. So now to actually add that look as a one-click effect, I'll go to the adjustment layers in the top right-hand corner of the screen, click on Color Lookups, go to the top menu where it says Load 3D LUT, click on it again to go to the open dialog on my desktop, and there's the one we've just saved. Click on that, click load, and you'll see that Photoshop will then apply that look onto the picture. However, now that it's applied that look, how, when we look at the layers panel, can I dive in and start fine-tuning the look? Sure, I can start using things like opacity and blend modes and stuff like that, but I can't actually get to the recipe that made this picture. So let me show you now my new way. Let's just delete that lookup table adjustment, and I'll bring the picture back to the stage. Let's go File and Revert. Bring it back to the stage when we had all those adjustment layers at the top of the layer stack. Now all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to click on the uppermost layer, hold down my Shift key, and then click on the very first adjustment that went into giving the picture its look. So now they're all highlighted. Then I'm going to go to the flyout menu in the top right hand corner of the layers panel and choose New Group from Layers. And I'll call this group the name that I want this particular colouring to be called. So I'll just call it PSW 2017. Call it whatever you want. This will just remind me of the look that I did when I did this picture at Photoshop World in Orlando. Then I'll click OK. So now all these layers are in a group at the very top of my layer stack. Now here's the trick. I'm going to go to my Creative Cloud Library. In here I've got a whole number of different libraries that I've created that contain a whole load of different files that I can now access on any computer that I log into my Creative Cloud on. But I'm just going to go to one here that I've got called Colour. And I'm going to take this little group that I've just made now at the top of my layer stack, and I'm actually going to drag that group over into my libraries and then release. And what you'll see here is it places that group here as a look, or a graphic rather, in my Creative Cloud Library. So now that we've done that, how can I use it? Well, let's just delete that group, and let's just say now that we want to apply the look or one of the looks that we've got saved in our Creative Cloud Library. Here's what you can do. Open up your Creative Cloud Library, find the coloured look that you want you created here by saving all the layers into a group, and then you're going to drag it over on top of your picture. Let's just position it so it's perfect just like so, and then press enter. Now you'll see that actually nothing has changed, but over in the layers panel you'll see that we've got a new layer added and this little cloud icon in the bottom right hand corner. Now that's kind of like a smart object, and it actually is like a cloud object, and it kind of behaves the same as a smart object in that if we double click on that thumbnail, it'll open up a new document, but in here are all the adjustment layers that we used to create that particular look. But the problem here is, even though I can come in and dial in the different opacities and what have you on each of these individual layers to affect the look of the picture, I can't actually see the picture to see how it's affecting it. So here's how you're going to do it. Let's just close that down. We don't actually need that. So we'll click no, and we'll go back to our main picture. Now let's just delete that cloud layer, because there's one little thing that you need to do. Go back to our Creative Cloud Libraries. Here again is that look that we saved by saving all those adjustment layers into a group. Now, instead of just dragging that over on top of my picture, what I'm going to do at the same time is hold down the Option key on Mac or Alt key on PC. Then I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to drag it out and drop it directly on top of my picture. And immediately you'll see that that color, that mood and atmosphere has been added to my picture. But as an even bigger bonus to that is we have now the group at the top of the layer stack. I can actually open that group, and here I have all the actual individual adjustments that went into giving the picture that final look. So I can now come in, dial in the look to suit the picture I'm working on. So it gives me a heck of a lot more flexibility than just having one layer in a 3D lookup table that I saved. Now, the great thing about this is you can save as many of these actual looks that you want over in your Creative Cloud Library because they're only using adjustment layers. And the actual memory size they take up is minimal. So you'll be able to save as many as you like. So I find this now a much, much better way for me to colorize my pictures because I always want to tweak the look just to suit the picture I'm adding it to. So I really hope that's going to be useful to you. I think it's definitely the way forward for me. But yeah, I'll kind of leave that with you. If you like it, give us a thumbs up there on the video. Maybe leave us a comment in the comment section below. If you haven't already, click on the subscribe, which really should just mean favorite. Give this channel a favorite, make it one of your favorites by just clicking on that subscribe button. But if you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Again, I hope this has been useful to you, and I'll catch you next time.